Just a mixture, Gooden and Strawberry and Wilson and Hernandez and.
Oh, is that in honor of the drug addicts?
Nah, that's
no bars off. Huh. Yeah. MCs take no bars off.
Another open bar segment virtually. Man, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for subscribing. I am Shot Stimuli.
I am Boardwalk Brown.
We are No Bars Off, a podcast where we break down lyrics, praise artists, salute the pen, the almighty barrage.
Mighty pen.
Yes. And today we are blessed, fortunate enough to speak to a writer. This is our favorite segment of the show, the open bar, where the bar is open.
Nothing like it.
5,000 subscribers on YouTube. Shout out to all the audio podcast listeners, man. We almost have 5,000. By the time they see this, we'll be at 5K.
That's still wild to me.
Yeah.
The audio podcast following is wild. They listen and download immediately. I appreciate the love. We gotta salute y'all and thank y'all for tuning in. Like the love is real. We appreciate that. We appreciate you like to listen to us and hate to see us.
Love it. But tonight is so monumental because we got our first battle rapper
legend.
Battle rap legend. But
get it right.
Not just a battle rap legend, a guy that is just a wordsmith, an artist.
True.
I want to say I've seen his grind for so many years, like just going from what he did in the studio to on the streets to doing something that, man, if you're a rapper, right? Think about standing in front of another rapper trying to degrade him with bars and y'all going back and forth. That's like the true essence of
that's the essence of it. That's where it all started at.
that's where it starts at. And then to be able to come out of that arena and go into another arena and make records and make songs and still be relevant after so many years in the game, man.
True.
I mean, it's just we gotta salute. We gotta salute the whole URL and everybody else that's been affiliated with that for maintaining that level of integrity in that part of the game.
True.
But tonight we want to talk about this album, this Filthy Karma album. So I want to bring to the open bar segment to No Bars Off, my bro.
Hey, we need a round of applause.
Round of applause for Cortez.
Round of applause.
Yo, Cor, what up, man?
What's up, my boy, man? Yo, man, first off, pleasure for y'all having me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know the history, man. We're going to get into it. We're going to have a good time tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Let me Boardwalk Brown, Cortez. Yeah.
Salute. Bro. I see you a Mets fan. I see Gooden, you know what I mean? I see Strawberry there. Okay. My grandfather likes you, so you know what I mean? He a diehard Mets fan.
He all right with me, a good man.
Yeah, that's Coney Island, Coney Island best stop.
Yes, sir.
Flatbush over here. We Brooklyn in the building.
It was good, man. It was good, man.
Man, proud of you, brother, for all the success and everything that you've been doing over the years.
Yes.
And I was telling Brown about a conversation we had many years ago. I don't know if you remember, but we were talking about the struggle for being a battle rapper and making songs. And this is before the URL kind of took off and became a thing where people could live off of battle rap. And I think I was explaining to you that, this wasn't an and one type thing. I felt like the battle rap lane is a legit lane that shows artistry that a lot of us rappers that can write rhymes and write songs will never be able to do. And I was like,
I definitely agree.
Salute, like uplift that, like, lean into that. I didn't say that word, but lean into that, like, because brother, seeing you on that stage I can't even explain the level of professionalism and mastering your craft that it takes. So that's just one aspect of what you do. So
thank you, bro. It's crazy. We go way back, and it's because of our era with battle rap. People were battling to get record deals. People weren't realizing that it was something that could be monetized and made a career out of. It was more or less looked at as like a stepping stone or like a platform to get somewhere else. And the one thing that I take pride in is that era, 2008, 2009, or 2012,
Yeah.
We changed the whole game, like monetized it, sold out events, and realized that, and went global with it. So it was like,
Man,
oh, we figured out the formula. Our class did that. So I'm glad, you know, it's like it's like, you know, like the 96 NBA draft or like the 2004 draft, like those are special drafts. I feel like that's what we did for battle rap. You know what I mean? So, you know, and you was right. You definitely say, yo, don't shy away from it. The people that shied away from it, they look bad when they came back. So it was like, embrace it. You know what I mean? And actually that pushed me to do with the mixtape. Remember, I think I named it Exception to the Rule.
Yes.
That was the whole inspiration behind it, because I was like, you know what? He's right. I should embrace this. Let me just show I could do both, you know, and just the consistency over the time, you know. We're here. You know, it definitely a journey. Definitely a journey.
For real.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we want to talk about Filthy Karma and the inspiration for it and what it means.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Filthy Karma, first of all, shout out to Crisis.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to do was, after the Resolutions 1 and 2 albums, people really started like respecting like the music aspect a lot more after the pandemic. So I wanted to zone in with one producer. You know what I mean? I was always a fan of Rakim and Eric B. I was always a fan of, like, you know, a rapper producer type of combination. You know, so me and Crisis, we linked up and we did the album, and we didn't have a title at first, but the term Filthy Karma is something I've been running with, but just didn't know how to, like, how do I say, like, roll it out.
Yeah.
And the inspiration behind it is what I'm seeing nowadays. All these kids, just social media, just the new culture coming up. They, you know, and we did this too. We was in the trenches. A lot of us had to do things illegally to get where we were at and become hardworking citizens, or make an earning and make an honest living, and your past always catches up to you. Right. And it's like, as soon as that dude gets that record deal, or as soon as that dude gets into the NBA, it's like they tear you down. You get killed. These rappers get shot. These rappers get locked up. The RICO charges come. And it's not just karma. I feel like it's filthy karma, because it's like, and they doing him filthy. Like, he's legit. He legitimized himself. And they wait for that to bring back your past. It's like, I'm not a threat to society no more. I don't live in the hood. I'm not selling drugs no more. You know, there's no more spinning blocks and shooting and all that. And you wait till now to lock me up, to make me the example. Okay. And, you know, that was the inspiration behind it. You know, it's like, I always like to drop gems in my music, but I don't want to be a preacher. I don't want to preach. I don't want, you know, the kids don't want to hear that. So you have to sprinkle those gems, you know, drop those gems like that. So
speaking of dropping those gems, I know, like, being in a battle rap space, it's kind of difficult to drop gems and at the same time use them to kind of disrespect your opponent. So you got to kind of pick and choose what kind of content you bring to a battle rap stage versus an album. So going into working on this project, and again, coming from that battle rap background, did you go into it with an intent to show, hey, I'm not just a battle rapper. I can put songs together. I can make hits. I can do this. I can do that just as well as everybody else? Or did you just go in with a theme in mind, or just like an overarching, you know, kind of theory in mind that you wanted the album to sound like?
I feel like in the past, Cortez might have had done that. Like, let me just show them I can make music. Let me show them I can do a party song, or do a story. Or I'm past that, bro. I feel like I'm at the point now where I'm so comfortable, and I just know, like, it's not cockiness, but it's just like, bro, I put in my work. I know I'm nice. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm doing. And the responses from features, from certain videos that I've been doing the last 3-4 years, it's like people are like, yo, like, you're not the typical battle rap stereotype. So I don't have to go and say it when people are saying that. So my mind frame into this album was just rapping. I'm not doing anything outside of that. When people hear Cortez, I fully understand what the people expect from me. They want to hear bars. They want to hear some dope shit. I throw a little fly shit in there for the chicks here and there, you know, and I spit my game. But, you know, it's you got to fully understand what your fan base wants, and I feel like if you do that, especially now as independent artists, you'll be all right.
So you mentioned you don't want to preach. We've all had that toting that fine line of being good dudes, want to say something, but you don't want to sound preachy and alienate your audience. But at the same time, you mentioned you're not in the street anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
So was Filthy Karma like a reflection of the past? Like songs like Posing the Sprinter and Play My Position and Wicked and Brick by Brick. Are you saying like this was the past and this is the karma that would catch up to me? Or are you like,
yes,
okay.
this is all different instances of it, like with Posing the Sprinter, right? I'm removed from the streets, right? But there are instances where if I'm gonna go do a show and we're out of town and you don't got your security and your mans is with you, you got to hold each other down. I wear nice jewelry. You know what I'm saying? My man might be having $10,000 on him. We're in places that we don't know nobody. So you still have to move militant or move with a certain code. And I feel like these young kids, they don't have no respect. They don't have nothing, and they don't have no guidance. These little kids is out here running around, toting guns, putting them on camera, all this. So when I say that, I'll be like, nah, you know what I mean? I made a mill on the road before I did it with flows. You know what I'm saying? You know, keep a pole in the Sprinter when we pull up the shows. It's like I'm still on point. These little niggas is out here wilding. I'm gonna make it home to my family. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's real.
Yeah.
It's real. We all been put in those predicaments. Gospel rappers get put in those type of predicaments at times. You feel what I'm saying? It happens. It's life, and you have to reflect life. You know, my son, he raps now. He's on his drill, right? And he didn't even tell me he rapped until he let me hear a song. And then I was like, yo, this is hard. Who's this? He was like, me. I was like, nigga, you rap? Why you ain't tell me? He was like, nah, I didn't want to come to you until it was like, you know, until I felt like I got my weight up. So now I reflect on, and I know him, he's outside, you know, he has his own situations. I'm not there all the time. So when I sit there, I'll be like, okay, cool. I got to give knowledge to kids like him, not just him because he's my son, but just understanding what they do. I felt like our generation, the older generation didn't understand us. Hip hop was like banned from our parents and they didn't understand what we was doing. So, you know, we have that advantage where it's like, yo, you know, what to take literal, what to tell you not to do. You know, don't be a fool. Don't indict yourself on camera, you know, certain things like that. And, you know, don't put yourself in those positions. But even with Play My Position, like, to me, that's my favorite lyric on the whole album is on that record with Crisis. Because I said, Pop's overdose, but it's dope what his son did. Like, to me, that is like so like simple, but fire and real. You know what I mean? It's like, I took those negatives. I've seen those things in my life, and I made something dope out of it.
You know, you mentioning your son, Ron. It kind of like I gotta ask a little more because now I'm like, has he? You said he did drill. He does drill. So is he talking like? Is he talking reckless?
He got ops and all that. Like
he said, got ops and
all that. You know what I mean? But from his hood, I mean, my son is 19.
Okay.
And his hood where he's from, like his hood where my son's mother raised him and stuff, it's not nice. It's not good. I would go pick him up, but I still would have to return him home. You know what I'm saying? He lived with his moms. So his projects, his hood is like, it's crazy over there. And it's like he's not removed from there. He played ball. He was outside. He went to school. He graduated. He did all the things, but they're still put in certain predicaments. One of his best friends got murdered. One of his other friends got shot. You know, these kids is really wilding out here. And everybody got beef with everybody. So it's like, I'm like, damn, okay. Instead of, you know, like disciplining them or something like that, because he's a grown man, I got to understand it more. You know, we used to, I'm dissing people in my battles and all this and saying this and all that. And if you didn't understand, you'd be like, yo, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. It's like, I got to understand what's going on, you know, and I just try to give him like the yellow brick road. I'm like, look, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of situations. I know how you need to market yourself. I know how you need to move. You know, we're going to get you to a certain point where you can shy away from all this. You know what I mean? If you want to be a real artist, if you want to take it serious, I could throw you the alley. I could tell you, I could draw up the play. Just bring the ball down, you know what I mean, down the court. And that's the kind of, you know, that's kind of where we're at with it now, where he's listening. But for years, he's 19, maybe since like I started Resolutions 1 in 2020, when I started going into making those albums, he was right there in the studio, quiet, just listening. You know what I mean? I never forced him to rap. I never told him to rap. He was just in the studio listening. Yo, Dad, I like that beat. Yo, you should, that beat, I would listen to that beat. You know what I mean? Like, to keep me current.
Yeah.
And then from there, you know what I mean? When he started making music, I'm like, oh, and it's good. Like, I would tell him if it was trash. I'm going to keep it real. I'm like, yo, this is not for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not that. So it's even more motivation now to give more game. And at the same time, show him the process. Like, he's seen the process of me creating an album, from thinking of a name, creating artwork, going in the studio, writing, picking out beats, writing records, getting the features, mixing that. He's seen the whole process. Joints with Method Man, like, he's been there with me in the studio when I work with Meth, when I work with Spec, you know what I mean? And he's just like, oh, okay, this is how it goes, you know? And he's seen the actual finished product, the video, you know, the streams, the world star, all that. And he's like, yo, I literally have watched this go. So I'm like, yo, bro, we could do this all day, you know? If I had somebody like me at 19, I think I'd have been a millionaire before I was 25. Right. You know what I mean? So I've seen fathers force their kids to do things, and it don't come out the same. You know, the fact that he has a passion for it, I'm gonna embrace it. Why not?
Man,
and if he got ops, I got ops. So it is what it is.
I believe that.
That's how it goes.
It is what it is.
That's how it goes.
So, you know, we have verses that we was like, we could sit and dissect and go line for line and, you know, flex your pen. But then we was like, man, I would want to know what made him include this narrative. Like, you know, we was like, oh, is it true? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we had these questions, and I was like, man, let's just talk about the story. You know what I'm saying? So
I'll tell you a funny thing. A friend of mine, she had hit me and was like, yo, you know, my mother's name is Candy and my father's name is Hector, right? And I'm like, word, like, yo, I was like, yo, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Wild. But I was like, for real? She was like, yeah. I was like, yo, that's crazy. But the story is fictional. I wrote it on the spot. It is fictional, but it's not fictional to me as far as it's something that's far-fetched. It's not far-fetched. To be honest with you, when I was writing the record and the outcome, Crisis was there, and I'm just writing. Wrote maybe like an hour. It took me because I really wanted to detail the story. And my inspiration was more or less the video. Like, I don't want to rap in all my videos. I want things to be cinematic. I want things to become more of a movie. For me personally, all the years of me rapping, that's what's motivating me now, like the visuals and the stories, documentaries and stuff like that. So I was like, yo, I think that'd be real dope to just have a story as the video. Like, I'm not rapping at all. Right. You know?
Let you know, the fans that haven't heard it, you know what I'm saying? Let them get a little bit more.
Yeah, Candy was a name. Motherless, quiet, she was young and misguided. Men lusting in private, get drunk and get high. She influenced by the culture. Vultures, ain't no daddy round here to coach her. 14, but she looked 20. Men spending on the daily. Pregnant, a baby with a baby. Her daughter named Britt, only fan for them chips. Ass out in every pic, got Candy fake lit. She used to them tricks, she don't settle for no basic. For the moment, if you spend for the occasion. Hotel arrangements, clocking each hour. She counting each dollar, she know she means power. The love ain't there, so she lusting over cash. And Britain, she growing up fast. Dropped out of school, she ain't focused on no class. Learned from Candy, now Brit taking tabs. Home all alone, all the years done passed. Shit for all that designer, she was fucking for a bag. Slutting for the drip, jumping in and out of whips. She get it from her mama, she fucking for them chips. Candy out of town as a mom, she ain't focused. All the wild Brits start moving on some hoe shit. Hard, cold, frozen, with no ghost, hopeless. Lost innocence, you on a rose, not no roses. Posted, late nights, by the trap, all up in the mix. Hector 46 started pushing up on Brit. She told him what it is, the money make her happy. Hector old enough to be her daddy. Late nights alone, Hector fucking on Brit. Candy back home from a month-long trip. She woke up in the crib, Hector fucking on her kid. The fuck is all this? Hector reaching for the grip. See, Candy knew Hector. She jumped out of fear. While back they used to fuck, but she ain't seen him in some years. He tricked on the gear, paid bills monthly. Candy never cared, she only used them for the money. On to the next, she was gone for a check to collect, and for that, Heck lost all respect. But Heck can't forget, since then he was scheming, steaming, and made a promise one day he'd get even. See, Heck had a family, fully invested, tricking up on Candy, never using no protection. But here comes the lesson, cause years down the line, Heck and his wife getting sick up all the time. Lost in the days, calls me for days, it was all in his face. Heck, he tested positive for AIDS, his wife did too, now there's tears for the family. Only girl he cheated with was Candy, anger in his heart, palms on the weapon, lost his direction, thoughts of depression, plotted on revenge, he was gone moving reckless. Year to get even, got her daughter infected. Back to the crib now, Candy tried to run, he put one up in the wick, then he laid Brit down, shit foul. Hector did it for lust, Candy did it for likes. 4 lives lost, karma's the price.
It's different karma from everybody's different angle. They each receive their own karma, you know?
Wow.
Shout out to Crisis on the music too. That shit.
Yeah.
It definitely had an eerie just vibe with it.
You knew exactly something, like you knew it was a story to be told.
Yeah. The feel was definitely captured. Everything you talk about, being cinematic. We got that. Yeah, man.
The first. So you said that it was no basis, like no inspiration for it, like you kind of just wrote.
What I was saying was it's not a real story, but the inspiration is there. The inspiration is, I feel like a lot of these girls are lost and they only worried about the bag, right? They're not really doing their homework and they don't care. You know what I mean? This guy is 46 years old. She don't care. You know what I mean? She told him what it is. You know what I'm saying? The money make her happy. Hector old enough to be her daddy. But she knows what it is.
Don't do our job for us. Don't do our job for us. Don't do our job.
Both of y'all like, hold on, chill.
Yeah. This is a different type of show, man.
All right.
The reason why I asked that was because, like, for me, like, it has a real Meet the Parents type feel. Like it has a like that old Blueprint 2 joint from Hove. Like it has a real the circular how it all bought full circle. Like, have a real Meet the Parents type feel. So that's why I asked that. But yeah.
Thank you. That's a dope comparison.
Yeah. So we start with Candy, just giving a real vivid picture of her. Motherless, young, misguided, man, lust and private, drunk, getting high, influenced by the culture. And then you throw in vultures.
Right.
So right there, when you say she's influenced by, is it hip hop culture or is it the white men?
Social media.
Social media, okay.
Social media, influenced by the culture. Like what you see on the gram every day. People think the gram is real life. It's not real life.
They do.
You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, I was just having this conversation about the frequency of surgery and how how common it's becoming. Like it's like going to the dentist now, just getting tummy tucks and things like that. And we're not shaming anybody for doing it. It's just it's just a different time. That if you're a youngster growing up and seeing the normalcy of people just getting surgery with the intention of either posting online or whatever it is, like the song suggests.
But these girls aren't even 21 years old yet getting a body. Then your body's not fully developed. So, you haven't had a kid. Like these women are getting a body before they even had a child.
Yeah. And like that's the part that's scary. Like again, we're not shaming anybody for making these choices.
Right.
If you are a teenager with a body that's not developed and you think it's normal to just go get surgery, That's an issue.
That's definitely not normal. Let's not normalize that.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking about men spending on the daily. I I noticed on Instagram, right? If a bad chick, and this is really crazy, a couple times a bad chick has followed me, right, out of nowhere, and I follow him back, and then I get a DM, and it's almost like, "What you trying to do?" And I didn't know this existed. My naive self. Then it's like, "Are you on demon time?" It's like all these phrases that I'm not familiar.
Demons.
Wow, you are demon time.
The woman that finally just flat out asked me, "Are you trying to pay for this box?"
That's
and I'm
wild.
like, "Let me refer you to a friend of mine that would be willing to do that."
The thing is, though, they don't look at it as like, oh, I'm not a prostitute. Like, I'm not no porno.
No.
But it's like the morals behind it. It's like, do you really understand? Like there's no value if when I'm done with you, if the next man spend a bag, he could get the same thing I could get.
Exactly.
Like, you think it's because you a baddie, but men, how we think is like, and sometimes you might blow the bag, but you know you're not taking it serious. And then they'll sit there and be like, well, why nobody's taking me serious down the line? And it's like, yo, like, you're not exclusive. Like, this and that's not difficult to do. You know what I mean? But it's a crazy time. So you're right. It's crazy
it's a
times.
wild time, bro. Pregnant with a baby. A baby with a baby.
Baby with a baby.
Yeah, a baby with a baby. 14 with a baby. So of course this cycle gonna continue. So
yeah.
A daughter named Britt, OnlyFans for them chips, ass out in every pic, got candy, fake lit. And now you think about that, like her daughter's popping, so she feel like she's, you know what I mean? How wild is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, and again, that's the another side effect of a baby having a baby. What you think is cute really ain't. So that's crazy.
Now mind you, I threw the OnlyFans things in there, of course, because it's, you gotta always reference what the time's on now. But that's how she hustled. Like, that's how she made her bag. Like, she was like, all right, I'm pregnant, I'm 14, I got a baby on the way. You know what I'm saying? These men are throwing chips at me. Oh, I could do OnlyFans? Why not?
Right.
It's safe. Like, why not? Like, you get what I'm saying? These things in this again, there's no daddy to coach her. There's nobody to tell you that's not how you're supposed to do things. You know, and that's why I put fake lit. It's like, you think you lit, but you're not really lit. You wilding out here. You know?
I want to talk about a line. Pussy means power. So us being locked in, you know, got our queens. Happy wife, happy life is a terminology that gets thrown out there. Talk about pussy meaning power. Talk about the females and how they kind of control how we move and what that means once they know that we do it for them.
Well, to be honest with you, early on, like in my 20s, like I always was at the cool table. High school, I was at the cool table. You know what I mean? Like, so like I always was a bachelor. I was the first person in my hood with my own crib.
Oh, shit.
So my crib was the crib where niggas brung they shorties to the crib. Yo, cool, let me use the crib, bro. I got shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, I was that dude. So early on until later on, I didn't realize, like, yo, like, women will wrap you up and, like, you won't get your shit done because you just chasing women. You know what I mean? Eventually you sit there and like, hold on, I got to focus on me. I got to get my bag. And then you start chilling out a little bit. You know, we all go through those whole phases. Like, it is what it is. But you realize if you don't go through that whole phase, these women are going to wrap they fucking box around you. You ain't going to know what to do. You ain't going to know what to do. It don't matter if you 20 or 35, 40 years old. If you just outside, they're going to get you. You know what I mean? Guys don't know how to act. So we know that. And you have to just be real with yourself. Like, yeah, she got me. Hold on. You hear me?
Yeah.
A lot of times we learn by making those mistakes.
Yeah.
Everybody had that one chick that just had them sprung. Everyone had that one chick that might have had you spend a little bit more than that was out your budget, but you was like, damn, son.
Damn,
The box is crazy though, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
We've all had that when you
the power, man. That's the power.
And you know you playing yourself.
It's
You
power.
know you
You
playing
know it.
yourself.
You know it.
It happens, you know. But you know, over time, you know, we look at like me. I tell my son, like, yo, bro, that's not it. Like, you know what I mean? You're gonna learn you like her. I know you like her. Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna just let you. I'm gonna let you fuck that up and realize. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's part of, especially for men, it's part of the maturity. But yeah, pussy is power. Wars have started over pussy.
As Britt growing up fast, dropped out of school. She ain't focused on no class. Learned from Candy. Britt started taking tabs. Home all alone. Years done passed. All for designer. Now she fucking for a bag. Son. So not only are you fucking for a literal bag, like a designer bag, but the bag that it takes to pop the designer.
Yes.
Great double entendre.
Yeah.
Perfect segue or perfect ending to wrap all of that up to finish the picture.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of get into that. Kind of get into them few bars right there.
I mean, I just feel like nowadays it's all about that. Yeah. It's like it's all like you're not dating these guys for love. And no one cares. Like if a person is single and they want to do what they do, you're grown.
Right.
But the goal is nowhere near commitment. You're giving your body up. You're sleeping with these people. You're doing all these things just for a name brand. So that has more value than yourself, and that should never be that way. You know, those are the things that bother me. I'll be like, yo, so Gucci is more important than your respect? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And there's nobody cares. So it's like you just have to like see those things and be like, damn, like, it's crazy.
I feel like we're putting you in a conscious light right now by picking this point.
You got me reflecting right here.
Yeah, right. So like, yo, I thought Cole was gonna be shooting some ops, man.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I thought I ain't spent a block yet. What's going on? We 45 minutes in.
I know, man. We good though.
But I really like that though, because it's for me. I feel like storytelling is a lost art.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, not a lot of people do stories. Like I don't know when was the last album. You know, you might see a Kendrick, you might see a Nas, but like those are like elite artists that can do that. But I don't feel like a lot of artists do it. So, you know, that was the inspiration too. I will say that. Like, yo, nobody doing stories. I you know what I mean? I want to dive into that.
No, that was our inspiration too, low key. We was like, you know, it's a standout just to hear a narrative. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You know, you talk about slutting for the drip, jumping in and out of webs. You get it from a mama. You know, this whole thing with the mom being the influence, man. You know, out of town ain't focused all the while. Brit start moving on some whole shit, hard, cold, frozen. Just I want to just talk about the fact that a child can see something that their parent does and just, you know, move in that direction. And the parent, although you know what you were doing wasn't right, doesn't really step in and correct it. Like this,
she wanted rose, not no roses.
Right. Like we was gonna get there.
Like
that was
you
the
know,
one.
like
that was the one.
It's all lit. Yeah, it's all lit. It's just guidance is everything, you know. And if you allow your child to see certain things too early, then it becomes the norm, and certain things shouldn't be the norm until you can fully understand why it's happening or what's going on, you know. And you know, especially as a lady, I feel like a female needs, especially a female daughter, a female really needs both parents, both point of views. Males, it was more important for me, just from my experience, for the female to be raised by both parents or influenced by both parents more than the male. Now we need that too, but females really need that. You know what I mean? They're the ones that get left with kids. They're the ones that get left raising these kids by themselves. You know, 90% of the time, they're not able to protect themselves the way we are. You know, so it's like they really need that guidance. So like what your child sees is everything, especially if you got a little girl.
I mean, that's interesting perspective. I agree with you. I feel like us being raised by single mothers, we can kind of get away with a lie, and we can still, you know, become grown men. But I know for me, I didn't see an example of a man. Do you think that affects how we treat women though, by not being raised?
Definitely. Definitely. Either way, even if your father's in the picture, if your father's cheating, and you see your mom's hurting from that, you know, you see your mom's crying every day because pops is out slinging dick. You know what I'm saying? It's like you kind of learn like, damn, that's a little fucked up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get older and you the player too, and then you realize like, okay, I get it, but at least you able to assess both sides of the situation and be like, yo, I don't want to treat my wife like that, or I don't want my kids to see that. You know, females got to get it rough. They see guys beat on them. You know, leave them. They raise a kid. Their parents kick them out. Like, there's a lot of things that go into those decisions. Young. Especially if you're sexually active, young, and you're not protected and you have a child, you know what I mean? So just from my experiences, from people that I've been with, people I've dated, and just people I grew up with, I see that and I'll be like, yo, like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not that sweet. You know what I mean? You really got to be careful what you're doing out here.
Which rose were you talking about? When you said rose, not roses?
He said she want a rose, not
Rose, the toy. The toy that all the chicks did. You know what I mean? It's like, she'll see that in the crib. Be nosy, you know. You gonna play with the rose, and then this nigga gave me roses. He's a bozo.
He's
you know, he ain't give me no money.
Keep those fresh flowers, you bum.
Huh?
I said, keep those fresh flowers, you bum.
Yeah. Look at this bird ass nigga. He sent me some flowers. Fuck out of here, nigga. Send me some money. Hit my Cash App. You know. And throughout this whole song, if you notice, that was one thing I always wanted to do. Like, she get it from my mama, or, you know, a baby with a baby. These are things that your parents have told us. Quotes, things that you learn that I throw in there because they're missing. You understand? So it's like that little twist of things that my mother used to tell me, or my aunt used to tell me, that I'm like, okay, these are like the things that you're supposed to know, but you don't.
You know? Candy out of town, she ain't focused. All that posted late nights, now Britt up in the mix. Hector 46, start pushing up. She told him what it is. Money make her happy. Hector old enough to be her daddy. The crazy part about that line is not only is he old enough to be her daddy, when you get to the end of the story, you realize he could be her daddy.
He could be, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He could be. I left the door open for that.
Right.
You're
That's
right.
what I'm saying. With that being open-ended, he could be her daddy. When you find out he was fucking with her mom from the gate anyway, and have been fucking around with her for so long. Britt ain't but probably at, 18, 19 at this point now, if that, maybe 14. So he very well could be her daddy. So yeah, I like that.
And if you look at it, if she had her at 14 and Britt is only 18, that means Candy is only like 32, 33, 34, and Hector's 46. So Hector was still older.
He's a generational slime ball.
He was rocking the cradle back then. You know what I'm saying? So,
did you, a lot of times when you write your stories, you kind of think of the ending first. Did you have the ending in mind, or were you just like flowing like, yo,
to be honest with you, when I was telling Crisis, I was like, yo, is this typical? And he was like, you're bugging. Do your ad-libs. Like, go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're bugging. Do the ad-libs. You're bugging. This is crazy. And I was like, you sure? You know, I felt like that's the one thing I doubted with this song. AIDS, HIV. It's not as, not to say it's not bad like it is, but it's not as prevalent as it was in the 90s and stuff. You know, but don't nobody want no AIDS. Don't nobody want it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I felt like, you know what? Maybe this is also a way to just keep people reminded, like, yo, bro, there's still shit out there. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself. So, the ending was, I had like a somewhat of an idea, but I really, like I said, I wrote it on the spot, but I kind of wanted to reflect a little bit and just see like where I could go with the story a little bit, like play with it at that point, you know? Because if you notice, once they do stay walk in the crib together, everything now is thinking. the whole scene stops.
Mm.
Everything is
Right.
what he's thinking, what she's thinking, what they're thinking,
Gotcha.
and then everyone figuring out what's going on here before it gets back into the crib. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's more or less that is inspiration from what's the shit with Jay and Bleak, where the whole song is about them.
Coming of age too.
Coming of age too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, that whole song is just their thoughts. You know what I mean? As he approached, what up, Bleak? Then I paused. Like that's the only thing. So that I did want to take that inspiration from there like that.
Yeah. We just did Niggas Bleed too, and you know, that was a lot of Biggie's thoughts as well. That was one of our finest
He
moments.
to me, you know, there was a tweet the other day. Someone asked who the best storytellers like in hip hop, and I said Big to me is the best storyteller.
Man.
Somebody was like Big. I was like, yo, bro, almost every verse was a story.
Man.
It's just you don't realize because he had so many flows and bars. Everything was a stupid motherfucker. He double parked by a hydrant. You know what I mean? Like I was like, what? Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Now you gotta watch that episode. We went in.
Yeah, you gotta watch that.
I'm gonna tap in. I'm catching up. I'm catching up. Now, after this, I'm like, yo, I gotta catch up. I love the segment how y'all break it down. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta tap in.
So what sparked the everybody die? Everybody got to die. Like what made Heck have to pull it? Okay. Yeah.
Karma, you know. I felt like it was a perfect ending to the album. Like, all right, this is the message to end the album. You know what I mean? And if that ain't filthy calm, I don't know what is.
True.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, you know, 4 lives were lost over that. So it's like, nah, this is perfect. You know what I mean? And then that's when I realized, oh yeah, this ending is good for the album. You know?
So do you always write in the studio?
Yeah. I'm literally just came from the studio right now. I just had wrote a record. But I like hearing a beat on the spot and creating. I don't
This guy's the same way.
Yeah, like I don't really want to think about the song because if I don't like it, I'll listen to it later and then just man. But if I hear something right then and there, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. My mind starts going. I start mumbling. I get a melody or I get a certain pattern. And then I just, you know what I mean? Oh, no, I got to do this now. If I don't do this now, it's not going to be the same. I feel that way. Like records don't be the same. Maybe sometimes I'll go back and arrange it, but the initial writing, hooks, or bridges or whatever I have, I go to the studio ASAP. Unless somebody sends me a beat pack, but I'll do the voice notes.
Got you. Brown, you had something?
Like you said, nice ending to the album. But if I had to ask you, what's your favorite joint on the project? You're thinking too long. Everybody got one.
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick. Okay.
The beat. It's the beat to me.
Right.
Like that beat is just crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like that beat. I really just that beat just spoke to me.
I'm gonna play it when we ride now. I'm gonna let you. Nah, that's dope. That's dope. The joint with 38, man. Really enjoyed hearing y'all mesh together, man. That was dope.
Yeah, we did that in the studio together.
Oh, okay, yeah. It sounded like I didn't want to blow it up if it was an email joint, but nah, it sounded like y'all had.
It sounded real cohesive,
yeah. Everything except Ito was in studio. Everything, and only thing because Ito's and you know he's upstate, but he still came down and we rocked out. You know, another joint, but Special. I went to his crib. He was like, "Yo, come to my crib. Let's knock it out." You know what I mean? That was there. Flea and Crisis and us. We always working together. Same thing with Feeve. Same thing with Merkham's. You know, Crisis raps and my man Doza raps too. They mostly Doza as well. Even though he didn't do production on this album, he's done a lot of production for me too. So Doza and Crisis, that's like our triangle offense right there. So we always work in the studio together.
So what's the next battle?
Actually, I got a low key battle in Miami next weekend. For my boy Don Marino, but it's just a up and coming rapper named June Peas. So I'm gonna give him a little 1 rounder, you know, pick up a little check.
You You doing charity? Okay.
Yeah. You remember wrestling or Superstars on Saturday? That's what it is.
little Thunder Lips action.
Yeah. Brooklyn Brawler versus, you know what I'm saying? One of those Jones. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. Right.
Yo, real quick though, because I don't want to hold you, but the process from preparing for a battle. I seen you guys prepare for battles a couple times when I came to the crib. I think you was working on some. What's the difference with like creating the rhyme for a battle where you know it's a cappella, it's spaced out, it's conversation, it's delivery, it's performance, as opposed to writing a song? Like, do you get a dope line for a song? Be like, nah, let me hold that for a battle.
Sometimes it be both. Sometimes it be both. Sometimes I don't know, this is better for a battle than a song, or sometimes I'll be like, this is better for a song than a battle. You know, that those things happen all the time. I just think
how do you know? I don't like.
Right.
I've tried certain things that I think is fire and it didn't go well, and I'm like, y'all ain't fuck with that. And then I'll just say it differently, like on a song, and then everyone's like, yo, that line is crazy. I'm like, oh yeah, that was meant for a song. That was it. You learn through trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things is different with battles. It's like they want you to be so aggressive and like you know, like just direct. So sometimes I'll say some dope shit. I'm like, that was dope. They'll be like, yeah, but you're not battling. You're just rapping. And it is an element to the battle rap. Like, you do have to battle your opponent. So it happens, you know. It is what it is. But at this point, it's like you learn, you know what I mean? Especially me, I got 100 battles plus. Like, I've seen it all, you know what I mean? So I know basically what's going to work. I like writing records more than battle rapping.
Really?
It's easier.
That makes
it's
sense.
more enjoyable, like fun. Like, I like creating in the studio. It's like not pressure. Battle rap is a lot of pressure. I'm like, damn. I gotta memorize this. Then I gotta do the acting part of it. Then I gotta get my breathing patterns. Then, you know, you gotta get on stage. You gotta move around. It's like a Broadway play, bro. Like,
oh, it's real. That shit is
it's Hamilton. It's Hamilton.
It's Hamilton.
It's Hamilton for real, live.
It is, like it really is. For real.
Heckles with somebody in your face trying to demoralize you, like that.
And then
in front of everybody.
Let me tell you, right? The craziest thing is like when you know you got some fire rounds.
Yeah.
And I chorus on you. You start rapping and nobody's reacting. And then nobody's reacted. And then you say a line and niggas start like, boo. And you like, okay, now everything that I've practiced for the last month has to go out the window. And I have to regroup after that round one and be like, all right, what I got to do? I got to freestyle. I got to rebuttal. I got to think of something that he says and flip it. I got to get the crowd back on my. So it's just nonstop pressure until the battle's over. You know what I'm saying? Because imagine, even if you finish rhyming and your opponent still has to rap the third, that battle's not over. And if he's wilding on you, you still feeling that pressure. Like, I'm done. Like, I want to get out of here already. You can't. You got to sit there. You know what I mean? So, nah, that don't happen in the booth.
Yeah, that's a different type of pressure.
Yo, you know what this reminds me of? This is crazy because this was like, damn, it's 2023. This might have been like 2011. Yeah. And we was in the studio out here. Me, Mickey Fax, J. Cole, and we were watching you versus Holla, which I was there for. Mickey was there for.
Yeah, you in the footage, And
in the moment, it was unanimous that you won, right? Mickey decides to pull up the battle. This was 2011. He's like, yo, Hitman Holla beat Cortez. And we like, get the out of it. What are you talking about? We were there. And he proceeds to like show it and break it down and show, like, because that's when he did the man, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, he didn't get the crowd response, but his rounds is better. I was like, man, get the hell out of here. Have you watched that battle recently?
Yo, bro, people tweet that battle, that and Hollahan, they tweet that all the time. Like, I get at least 3 to 5 tweets a day about both those battles, like still. And it's the TikToks now.
Oh,
like
yeah.
people go back and they'll take that part from the TikTok, and then it'll just like me and Hollihan, I think is at like 10 million on TikTok. And I'm like, that's crazy. This and people think the battles just happened. Right. Oh, Hitman for Holla from Wildin' Out you battled him, Cortez. I saw on TikTok, like, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, purpose, Hitman. I even look at those things now, be honest with you, and I look at it and I know I'm a better rapper now.
Right.
But the energy is different back then. So I look at it like, yo, you got to understand it's a different time, a different energy. There are lines that I'll sit there and be like, but it was a different time. You know, you got to understand that. And at that time, especially that day was so lit. Like that day was like New York versus Midwest. There was a lot of camaraderie in the building. It was us versus them. You know what I mean? And it's like, you ain't going to get that. You ain't never going to get that feeling on that. You know, so it's different. You know, you learn. We don't know that's a part of history that day. That day we all woke up just going to battles. We didn't know what it would be, you know, or where it would go. So it's crazy. But yeah, Mickey was hating a couple times after that. Mickey had called me one time. It was like, and that's my bro. So, you know what I mean? I remember Mickey called me one time and was like, yo, why you hold your hand like that when you go into those patterns? And I'm like, what you mean? And then he shows me 3 battles where my hand is like this, and he's like, "Don't do that." I'm like, yo, Mickey,
you know he's a teacher, man.
Too close, bro.
Yeah, he's a teacher. He's always in teacher mode, man.
And now he's doing the school and shit like that. So it's like, you know, you see that, it's like, it's crazy, you know. And that's my bro.
Nah, that's fam. So he been on the show, man. Yeah.
So did J. Cole say I won though? That's what did J. Cole fight for me?
We couldn't get him to like sit and watch, man. We was trying. He wasn't into it. I don't know about now. He might be into it now, but back then
he probably watched a couple. Yeah, everybody's watched a couple.
He watches a lot.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's certain things, but you know, like I say, man, I'm just glad I'm a part of that era. Like that draft, you know, that draft class was amazing.
Man, just thank you for your time, man. This
appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man, we appreciate your time. Like we don't take this lightly. I know we are taking the time to salute your pen and salute your work and all, but we do appreciate your time.
Nah, most def. You know, when I come to ATL, I gotta pull up on y'all.
Burger Bistro,
Scott's restaurant, right?
Yeah.
I told him I gotta come over there and support. So you know, I'm definitely gonna pop up.
Food is crazy.
Yeah, the food is crazy. Food is absolutely
out of control.
Yes, it's lit, man. I'm proud to see all that.
He take all our money.
We go in there. Go foolish.
Man.
Like
say no more, because I ain't skinny core no more. So I'm gonna go in there and turn up in there.
Cool. We ain't skinny.
I know, right?
I'm over here 235 right now.
Man.
Listen, man, it is what it is. We eating good, we healthy, we
exactly
blessed, man. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I appreciate y'all, man. You know,
yes, man.
It is what it is, bro. Man. We tap in.
Real spitters take no bars off. Huh. Yeah.